in the spring of 1969, a newly trained medic from South Dakota, Francis Whitebird, arrived in Vietnam. Here to share Whitebird's story is acclaimed actor and star of the TV series Yellowstone, Gil Birmingham.
I come from a warrior tradition. My great-grandfather was an Indian scout for the 2nd Cavalry. My uncle fought in the trenches of World War I. My dad was a Lakota code talker in World War II during the Battle of the Bulge. So, naturally, when the time came, I had to test myself to see if I could go into battle and survive. What I wanted was a combat infantry badge, but the Army made a medic out of me. I arrived in March '69, Cam Ranh Bay. At dawn, it was already over 85 degrees. I walked out of the door of that plane and I felt like I walked into an oven. I was assigned to headquarters company. A sergeant picked us up, took us to his hooch, gave us a beer. Then he said, "I want you guys to help me with a job." It's the first time I saw a body bag. I didn't know what it was. He unzipped it to ID the body, and I saw the face. Sarge told me the guy had been a medic. A mortar round landed in the foxhole. It blew him in half. I realized then what I had signed up for. We went through 27 medics that first 9 months. You couldn't think more than a day ahead because every morning you'd wake up and say, "I wonder if I'll see the sunset." Most people think medics don't carry weapons, but I did. War is about killing. You don't go to war to die, but you live with that fear every day. And no matter how scared you are, you get the job done. You have to move fast. Adrenaline's going, bullets are flying all around. You're afraid. But then a guy gets wounded, and you want to get that guy out of there because he's depending on you. You drag him out of the fire, make sure he's okay. If he's in pain, give him morphine, and you just go on to the next one. Shrapnel, stop the bleeding. Give him a shot of morphine, pull him to safety. Grenade, grab the forceps, patch him up. Hope like hell he makes it back into the world, and you go back out again. My job was to keep him alive until a helicopter comes. But we're in a war zone, and there are no guarantees. People get killed. Seeing the first dead bodies where I knew the guy, it affects you. A lot of guys don't want to make friends because then their buddies die, and there's no time to grieve. But times are so intense, you can make friends fast. Like my buddy Paul. He was a recon sergeant. I found out he was from Omaha. And when you're 10,000 miles away from home, South Dakota and Nebraska are practically next door. That was a comfort. Soldiers form a secret bond that lasts a lifetime. You develop this trust. The whole thing is an effort to keep each other alive. We saw some of the worst fighting in the Battle of Hepdug Valley. August 1969. RPGs were risen all around. Paul got wounded and was medevaced out only hours before I was dropped in. So I couldn't believe I hadn't been there for him. Then I got wounded just a few days later. An RPG exploded near me, knocked me right off my feet. The shrapnel came in hot, cauterized around the wound, but I just pulled it out and kept going. There were other men to look after. When a married guy was wounded in a firefight, somebody always stepped in. They'd gladly die in his place so he could see his family again. You're willing to die for a total stranger just so he can get back to home. 130 of us from Charlie Company went in battle that day. Only 25 walked out. After my year was up, I re-enlisted. I didn't want to leave any of my guys behind. I said, I gave Charlie a year to kill me, and he didn't do it. So I'll give him another 6 months. But that was pure bravado. I was scared the whole time. At some point, the adrenaline wears off, and you're left with terror and grief. Dead, mutilated people, decaying corpses. You never forget that smell. There's only so much I could stand. You went to Vietnam alone. You came back alone. One day you're in the jungle. The next, you're standing on the street in America. There was no decompression. There was nothing. All you had left were images and memories. Later they called that post-traumatic stress. But I had all these stories inside of me, and they were really raising hell in me. But I didn't tell anyone. If you're in a battle, even just one time, you relive that battle your whole life. Your body may be back, but your mind is still over there. And it's not just one thing that heals you. It's a whole series of things that help you gradually recover. With my Lakota tribe, when you get back, they have a ceremony for you. What non-speakers called a sweat lodge. The cleansing isn't just physical, it also purifies the spirit. You go in there, you tell the people what you did, and when it's over, all that stays in the lodge. My warrior ancestors set very high standards for me, and my sons have carried on that tradition. One of the hardest things in my life was when my sons were deployed to Iraq, because I know what war is and what they'll see. And now we all wear our combat badges. We show people that different generations have fought in different wars. Someone once told me in Lakota that you're only alive as long as someone remembers you. On Memorial Day, I buy flowers with red, white, and blue flags on them for people who served, not just in Vietnam. I remember all the veterans who fought in wars past. And now we include Iraq and Afghanistan. Memorial Day is the day we're supposed to honor them. And I do.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Such an honor. Such an honor. Oh, thank you. I heard you. Is this your son? Is this your son? Thank you. Beautiful.